Peace, peace. All right, we're waiting for people to come on. We're waiting for our people to come. Yes. It's been a minute, but we back, y'all. All right, you know what's going on. We got some good events coming up. Simply go to our Weebly, dralim-el-bey.com. And once you go there, you want to go to calendar of events. All right, you want to go to calendar of events. And once you are there, you definitely want to check out the next event, which would be in June. All right, our next event will be in June. All right. So definitely got to get that information in. The Oracle presents the summer solstice at the Serpent Mounds, featuring Dr. Alim El-Bey, myself, lecturing the 21st through the 23rd of June. So that's June 21st through the 23rd. So that's June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. All right. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All right. We will be getting it in. Now, the Serpent Mountains tour is 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right. It's $25 in advance or $35 at the door. It would be at the Days Inn, Hillsborough. That's 103 Harry Saunders Road, Hillsborough, Ohio. We will be in the Ohio territory at the Serpent Mounds. So tell all your peeps in Ohio to come to the event. All right. Hillsborough, Ohio, 45133. You can call to make your reservations at 937-393-0299. And you can get in contact with email at oracletemple9@gmail.com. All right, that's oracletemple9@gmail.com. All right, that's Oracle, ORACLE, Temple, TEMPLE 9, the number 9 at called Twinkie. All right, that's Trina Michael Hart. All right, or Trina Hart Michael, excuse me. And you can contact her at 816-517-7816. That's 816-517-7816. You need to see the people in the building. This is the summer solstice / Juneteenth celebration at the Serpent Mounds. The Oracle presents myself, Dr. Alim El-Bey, be the featured lecturer, and also we be lecturing from the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd. All right, so check us out. That's 816-517-7816. All right, call Trina. All right, call her. Call me now. All right. Yeah, that's old school. You don't know nothing about that right there. You know what I'm saying? That was the Jamaican accent back in the days. All right. All right. So you definitely want to check that out. All right. Of course, you know our next event, the next joint. Oh, yeah, we got the next joint coming. After that will be in September. You know what's going on with that. All right, you know what's going on with that. All right, it will be the cruise. I want to say peace to Anu, peace to brother Tony. All right, all right. John Doe, peace. Wise Feminine, peace. Dinez, peace. God. All right, love. Light and love, peace, fam. I'm Nevi Poet. Peace, peace. Justice Born. Peace to the God. All right. R. Bailey. Peace, love, and light. All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Love lift me up where we belong. All right. Now, you know, love lift love lift life. Yo, peace, guys. Oh, peace, 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 peace. Osiris Black. All right. Who else we got here? Tell them come on in. All right. Oh, Vaka Vaka. All right. Boom shakalaka. All right. Peace, 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 guys. Michigan Firstborn. Peace. All right. Um, um, oh, Adrian. Oh, okay. Word. Peace, goddess. Peace, peace from the NYC. No doubt, no doubt. God's Son 7. Peace, peace, peace. All right, all right. So we're gonna get started here. Uh-oh. A drink went out, y'all. Trying to trip. What's going on here? All right, where's my connection? All right, y'all can't see. Okay, y'all can still see me on there. Came back. All right. So let's get into it, y'all. You know how we do. All right. Oh, that's where I was at. I was talking about the cruise. All right, the cruise, y'all. The cruise, definitely. All right, we going to the Bahamas, Roatan, all right, which is an island off of Central America, North America / South America, in between there, Honduras. All right. We're going to Cozumel, to Mexico, to Chichen Itza. But we're also going to Puerto Costa Mayan ruins, where there's over 200 pyramids and mounds. All right, over 200 pyramids and mounds, y'all. I know y'all don't want to miss that joint. All right, so that's September the 29th through actually October the 6th. All right, it's actually through October the 6th. All right, so make sure you set your calendars for that. All right, so basically we're gonna go to over 7 days. We're going to 5 places. All right, and 2 pyramid sites. And during the whole time, we will also be lecturing. So not only will you be enjoying one of the most up-to-date boats / ships of the Royal Caribbean International, all right? We will be departing from Orlando, Cape Canaveral, Florida. All right, for more booking information, you would call our tribal as well as also our travel agent, Ebony Sims, 504 515 6515. All right, or email her at starlinetravels11@gmail.com. Starline, STARLINE, travels, TRAVELS 11, the number 11@gmail.com. All right, yo, we're gonna have an amazing and awesome time. You playing, all right? If you're not staying, you're tripping. If you ain't gonna really be tripping, all right? In fact, you should be tripping and make this trip with us, as we always say. All right, so you definitely want to Come and check us out on that. All right. You have to. You have to. You have no, you know, it would be crazy if you didn't. All right. So we're going to get on in to the information, the science. You know how we do. We got to share with you the updated info, the science. All right, so in his epic book, The Secret Teachings of the Ages, Manly P. Hall wrote, "He who would fathom the depth of philosophic thought must familiarize himself with the teachings of those initiated priests designated as the first custodians of divine revelation. The mysteries claim to be the guardians of the transcendental knowledge so profound as to be incomprehensible, save to the most exalted intellect, and so potent as to be revealed with safety only for those of whom personal ambition was dead, and who has consecrated their life to the unselfish service of humanity. Both the dignity of these sacred institutions and the validity of their claims to possession of universal wisdom are attested by the most illustrious philosopher of antiquity, who were themselves initiated into the profundities of the secret doctrine of who bear witness to its efficacy. Excuse me. The question may legitimately be profound, for these ancient mystical institutions were of such great pith and movement. Why is so little information now available concerning them and the archaic they claim to possess? The answer is simple enough. The mysteries were secret societies, binding their initiates to inviolable secrecy and avenging with death the betrayal of their sacred trusts. Although these schools were the true inspiration of the various doctrines promulgated by the ancient philosophers, the fountainhead of these doctrines were never revealed to the profane. Furthermore, in the lapse of time, the teachings became so intricately linked with the name of these disseminators that they actually but recondite source. The mysteries came to be wholly ignored. All right. Now, that is some profound information that Manly B. Hall just dropped there, as he was saying that a lot of the information never was revealed. All right. Now, what do Dr. George G.M. James say about this in his incomparable work, The Stolen Legacy? States, all the great religious leaders, from Moses to Christ, were initiated into the Egyptian mysteries. Now, of course, all the biblical characters are allegoricals, but the skin complexion of the people of the book has not changed. In other words, they was melanated people. So we know that, of course, as Manly P. Hall states right here, is that the mysteries claim to be the guardians of the transcendental knowledge so profound as to be incomprehensible save to the most exalted intellect, and so potent as to be revealed with safety only to those in whom personal ambition was dead. So the ego was dead, and who has consecrated their lives to the unselfish service of humanity. Are you dedicated to the upliftment of fallen humanity? Most of these individuals that are out aren't. You can tell that from their speech, from their behavior, from their actions, from their deeds, from their ways, from their behaviors. They're not out for the unselfish service of humanity. I know that you have to pay your bills, all right? And that's fine. Of course, we all do. But you also have to be able to give freely of information in which that can help uplift fallen humanity. Well, we know that these initiated priests, designated as the first custodians of divine revelations, who were they? Well, George D. James speaks of the fact that they was the Moors. In other words, dark-skinned, complected people, copper-colored natives, indigenous people. All right. Now we continue reading in the book Papyrus Theorobini. This is coming from the British Museum. This is the story of the Potiphar story, or the tales of the two brothers. It is the origin of the story of Joseph, Ptah, meaning that's what the name means, Seb Ptah, or Seb, which is also Geb. But in the Bible, all right, it speaks of Genesis 37, 139, 1 through 23. And the Mennonites sold him into Egypt unto the Potiphar. All right, so hold up. There it is right there. So the Potiphar story, which is also called the Tales of the Two Brethren, which is actually from the papyrus coming from out of ancient Kemet, Egypt, Tamaray or Tamari. It speaks of the same within Genesis of the Potiphar. No coincidence. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and the Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guards, an Egyptian, brought him to the hands of the Ishmaelites, which has brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in his house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hands. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house and all that he had, and he put into his hands. And it came to pass from that time that he has made himself to oversee in the house. And it says that and that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessings of the Lord was upon all that he had in his house and in his field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hands, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things that his master wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wrought not what is in me in the house, and he had committed all that he had in my to my hand. This house deny, neither have he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it came to pass, and as he spoke to Joseph day by day, that he had hearkened not unto her, to lie with her or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garments in her hands and fled and got out. got him out. And he came to pass that when he saw that he had left his garments in her hands and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of the house and spoken to them, saying, see, he had left, he has brought into a Hebrew unto us to mark us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he had heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he lifted the garments, that he had left his garments with me, and fled and got him out. And he lied up his garments with her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to his words, saying, the Hebrew servant that thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mark me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he has left his garments with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when the master heard the words of his wife, which she spoke unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners was bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hands all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whomsoever they did there. He was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hands, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it prosper. Joseph, the vizier of Egypt, is a mythical story, y'all. Joseph is an allegorical story, right? The allegorical story is based on Imhotep, the prime vizier of the ancient Temerian of the third dynastic period of Kemet, Egypt. The name of the Bible states that it was given to Joseph by the Pharaoh, Zephaniah, all right, a Zephaniah, a Zephanath, Paneth, right, which becomes Zephan, becomes Joseph. You get it? And it's translated by some to mean that God lives or God speaks. Translation of Imhotep means the voice of I am, is identical to the biblical name of Joseph. So Joseph's name in the Bible, all right, Zephanath, of course, Joseph is actually talking about Imhotep. It's identical to the biblical name of Joseph. So Imhotep name means the voice of I am, and Joseph's name, which is Zephanath, Pane, means God lives or God speaks. The God speaks. So Imhotep was a known scribe, chief, lector, priest, architect, astronomer, and magician. Magic, medicine was all used together. Imhotep was the chief architect to the third dynastic king, Dozier or Zoser. He was the first master architect we know by name, and was in charge of building the original step pyramids in Saqqara. Imhotep was called the god of healing, medicine, the prince of peace, which is also the same title prescribed to Jesus in Isaiah 9:6, Luke 7:1-17. Also, the foster father of Heru was Zeb, Joseph, Yasef, or Joseph, Joseph or Yusef or Yasef, the Hebrew or Arabic name. So Jesus was fostered by Joseph, right? Fostered by Joseph. Imhotep was worshipped as the god and healer for approximately 2,850 BC to 525 BC, and as a full deity from 525 BC to 550 AD. In fact, he's still worshipped today because the 13th zodiac sign which is called Ophiuchus, or Ophiuchus, 13th zodiac sign, means the serpent wrestler. That is actually Imhotep. Ophiuchus is the name in which that the Greeks gave to it. But the serpent wrestler is actually the symbol of Imhotep, which is the Caduceus, the Uraeus. Every king, even kings and queens bow at his throne. For 3,000 years, he was worshipped as the god in Greece and Rome. All right? The Hippocratic oath to become a doctor, that Hippocrates is actually talking about Imhotep. During this period, Imhotep was declared the son of Ptah and Sekhmet in the triad of Mennefer, which is Memphis, and was sometimes identified with their son, Nefertim. Therefore, the story of Jesus, the son of God, Ptah, same as the Father who art in heaven, is based also on Imhotep. The name Horus is mentioned in the Bible. If you look in Matthew 4:3, which you will find the statement, the son, which is Huios, of God, Theos, referring to Jesus. In the Greek language, you will see Huios, Theos. The Greek word Huios is from the Egyptian word Horus, which is the Egyptian word for Heru, Kemet, Temerian name. All right. Also, let's break this down. Also, Huya or Yusuf came during the 18th dynastic period. He was a powerful Egyptian courier during the 18th dynastic period of Egypt, 1390 BC. He was married to Juyu, an Egyptian noble woman associated with the royal family, who had high offices in the governmental and religious hierarchy. Their daughter, Tai, became the great royal mother of Imhotep III, and Yuya, also written as simply Yu, has been associated with the biblical patriarch Joseph by Asman. The name Joseph, written as Yusuf in Arabic, is a compound name consistent of Jo or You and Seb or Seth. So Jo or You is the Hebrew word for Yah and contraction of the full name of Jehovah. Yah is used to form many more common biblical names, such as Yoel or Joel, meaning Jehovah is God. Seth or Seth is derived from the first part of the Egyptian name Seth, Zephnah, Payanah. All right. And mentioned earlier, given to Joseph. That was the name given to Joseph biblically and can be translated as substance, as the Bible indicates. All right. The 1st century AD historian Josephus quoted from the 3rd century BC history of the Egyptian priest Menethos that in the time of Imhotep III, or Soseth, literally visor Seth, prohibited the worship of the Egyptian gods. The description of the Egyptian visor Seth, i.e. Joseph, in the Bible of Genesis is consistent with that of a visor of the 18th dynastic Egypt, and the title given to Joseph is the Bible are identical to those of Yuya, Genesis 4:41, 45, 45 through 8, Isaiah 41:8, James 2:23. Huya titles as found in the temple includes master of the horse, overseer of the cattle of Amen and Men, Lord of Ackman, deputy of His Majesty in the chariotry, barrier of ring of the king of Lower Egypt, mouth of the king of Upper Egypt, the wise one, favorite of the good God, great prince, great of love, unique friend, beloved of the Lord of the two lands, one man, he whom king has made his double, and the holy father of the Lord of the two lands. Joseph in Genesis 45:8 is called a father of Pharaoh, and Osman claimed that Huya is the only Egyptian official that has ever had this title, with the exception of his son Ye, whom had the similar title, Ineche, or father of the gods. This theory has been not accepted in mainstream Egyptology, and as well as contradicts the account regarding Joseph's burial location in Joshua 24:32. All right. Now, so we know that that means that the Jews composite the characters from the third dynastic period, which is Imhotep, and Huya from the 18th dynastic period. All right. So they took those two characteristics of these two actual individuals that actually existed and combined them, in which that now we have the same stories told within the Bible of Joseph, in which, as you also see some of the comparatives compared to that of Jesus, right? In the Jesus story, that's Matthew, Luke, John, and Mark. All right, this theory has not been accepted. However, Donald B. Redford wrote in the Scansion Reviews of Strangers in the Valley of the Kings from Biblical Archaeological Review. Similarly, Deborah Swaney had expressed great doubts towards the proposed identification. Swaney states that the title God, Father of the Lord of the Two Lands is an extension of God's Father, which is not exclusive to Huya, and it's not. Must be, the God's father. The Bible states very clearly that Joseph's mummified body was exhumed and transported to Canaan by the Israelites, while Huya remains undisturbed in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, where his mummy was discovered in 1906. However, the biblical statements is proposed by Osman to be late insertions based upon the placement with regards to the documentary hypothesis, and the scenario fits more with Imhotep. However, the same Jewish people are known for merging his stories in the development of a culture. You see that? So they combined these two, and here it is. Imhotep, Hotep of Ptah, is Ptah spelled backwards, was often characterized in inscriptions as the image and a likeness of Tahuti or Thoth, and also as the successor of Thoth, Tahuti, all right, after the deity Necher had ascended to heaven. The belief origin of the Pope being that of the vicar of Christ. The Signs and Seal by Graham Hancock. You can get that information from out his book. Imhotep became son of Ptah, creator god of Memphis, Amennefer, whose nature as a god of craftsmen particularly suited the fathering of offsprings renowned for scriptural skills. The origin of Jesus being a carpenter after his fathers Joseph, Yaseb, Geb, Tahuti, Ptah, Zoser. From the Seti period, dynastic period would be 26. You have the Egyptian Myths by George Hart. All right. This is all showing us once again how the so-called Jewish people, as we would say, combine these stories in order to, to come off, as their history, or literally, and we know that that's not true. That this wasn't literal. that none of this was, real in that sense. And there's records of many, many vices throughout Egyptian history. But the first evidence which connects Imhotep with Joseph is an amazing inscription found carved on a large rock on the island of Sheelem, just below the first cataract of the Nile. This inscription claims to be written on a document written by Dozer in the 18th year of his reign. This copy being written over 1,000 years after the events that it claimed to be related. It goes on to tell of a 7-year famine and 7 years plenty. All right, just like the Bible did speak of that there was 7 years of famine. Let's look at the few passages from the inscriptions and compare them to the biblical account, keeping in mind that it was written a millennium after the events it claims to be described. So here we have the inscription which tells of the story of Pharaoh Dozer asking his advisor Imhotep to help him with the problem of the great 7-year famine. Imhotep tells him to be that he must consult the God before the answer is not in him. Then the Pharaoh dreamt the dream which foretell the event. Next follow 7 years of plenty, which is reversed from the biblical account. The Pharaoh levied the taxes of 10% on all of the population except for the priesthood. The biblical account tells of a 1.1% tax with the priesthood exempt. All of the components of the biblical account are present in this inscription. Imhotep is the earliest physician whose historical records survive. And although Joseph isn't mentioned as being a physician, Bible gives one very important clue to this. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. Genesis 52. Here the physicians are specifically stated to be under Joseph. All right? So that means that he had to have been a physician. All right? In other words, the story of Imhotep fits because Imhotep is the father of medicine. Even to this day, he's called the father of medicine. In fact, he's also called the first Messiah, or Christ. Ancient Greek writings mention as a great sanctuary of Mennefer, Memphis, where people came from everywhere to seek cures from Imhotep. And while sleeping, the god, right, Imhotep was said to come, right, very similar to the sleeping prophet. Like a Casey then, isn't it? Is there a connection between Joseph and dreams? Well, the Bible says so. According to the Holy Bible, New Testament, Acts 7:22, Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. So if Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and then Joseph was amongst the Egyptians for a large portion of his life, then that means that he too must have learned all the wisdom of the Egyptians. We assert that there was no singular person, Moses, just like there's no singular person, Joseph, at least not the mythical character of the Holy Bible. And we still say holy because the word holy means sun. Bible means papyrus or papyrus. In other words, paper. So Holy Bible means sun paper. The sun paper. The character is actually composed of several different ancient living persons. The story of Moses is derived from the Sumerian Egyptian story of the bark of Ra, which astrologically is the story of the sun moving through the Milky Way constellation, and physiologically, it is the story of sperm encased in semen, hence the term seaman, you get it, semen, moving through the spinal fluid up the column, 33 vertebrae to the kingdom of God, which would be to the house of the Pharaoh, because this, I guess you could say this story about Moses being sealed in a basket of slime. The slime is talking about the semen, and this basket is talking about what carries inside, just like Moses says, just drawn forth from the water. That's what Moses means. Well, the semen is also drawn forth from the water. All right, that's the semen, and the sperm is inside of that. So there's Sperm symbolizes Moses in that sense, being put in a basket as a baby and then sent up the river to the spinal column to reach the abode, all right, the kingdom of God, which would be symbolic to the Pharaoh's home. And the story is passed nearly 1,000 years before Moses, allegorically. But guess what? Sargon, the first of our kind. This story was already in books already written 1,000 years before the story of Moses in the Bible. The story is found on fragments of tablets from Kuyunik. All right. Read Brian Lewis' book, The School of Oriental Research, 1978. So this copied myth, Moses being portrayed by Charleston Heston, Moses' birth placed in a basket set adrift in a river to avoid infancy or infanticide, which means the death of infants, rescued and raised by royalty. Sargon, birth placed in a basket set adrift in the river to be avoided infanticide, rescued and raised by royalty. Origin of the myth comes from Sargon of Akkad. And even then, the myth goes further back to, like we said, the boat of Ra, the bark of Ra, right? But here, this is what it says about 1,000 years now before the story of Moses, we have the story of Sargon. Sargon, it says, strong king, king of Akkad am I. My mother was a high priestess. My father I did not know. My parental kin inhabited the mountain regions. My city of birth is Azupar or Azupir Raunu, which lies on the bank of the Euphrates. My mother, a high priestess, conceived me in secret. She bore me. She placed me in a reed's basket with bitumen. She chalked my hatch. She abandoned me to the river from which I could not escape. The river carried me along to Aki, the water drawer. It brought me, Aki, the water drawer, with immense his bucket lifted me up. And okay, the water drawer raised me as his adopted son. And that is nearly identical to the same story about Moses 1,000 years later. The Holy Bible, Exodus 2, 1 through 10, it says, and there went out a man in the house of Levi and took to his wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was goodly child, she hid him for 3 months. And then when she could no longer hide him, took him from an ark of bulrush, and dabbed it with slime and pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river brink. And his sister stood up afar off to what they have done to him. And the daughter of the Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked aside by the rivers, along the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrews' children. Then she had his sister to Pharaoh's daughter. Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew woman, that she may nurse the child for thee? And the Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take thy child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And woman took the child, and And she, woman, I should say, took the child and nursed it. And the child grew. And she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and she said, because I drew him up out of the water. Okay. The story of Moses took place in the Holy Bible, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Jesus' life took 4 chapters also, Mark, Luke, Luke, and John. 4 is one of the biblical number codes that designates the 360 plus 5 days of the earth rotating at 23.5 degree angles on its axis, and it revolve around the sun, symbolic to ether, producing the so-called 4 seasons called spring, which is resurrection, summer, ascension, autumn, fall, which is the betrayal, and winter, substitute or tomb. Right? This is where you get the swastika, or the reverse of that, which would be the swastika. All right. All right. So we just wanted to give you that little tidbit right there. We was going to spend a lot of time on these sciences tonight, but you know how we do. We come back with more info. All right. Come back with more info. And so you definitely can check that out, y'all. All right. Peace, Brother Fahim, Brother UL. Peace, 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 y'all. Word, y'all coming on in. Coming on in. Yeah, definitely hit the like buttons. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. All right. Now, so the story of Moses, the story of the bark of Ra, the story of Sargon is all based, all right, is all based, y'all, on the physical body. All right. That's what we was talking about. It's all based on the physical body. All right. Now, some of the science already with the fact that the story goes back to the bark of Ra. Ra, of course, symbolizes the sun or light. The bark or boat that he be in symbolizes moving through the celestial seas. That's why they use it as a boat or bark or ark, as they also refer to it as. And it moves celestially through the cosmic seas, hence the Milky Way galaxy. All right? The Milky Way. And that is symbolic to the sun moving through the sky. Now, that's as above. Then you have to correlate as below. Well, we see the sperm under a microscope. And when we see the sperm under a microscope, it glows. It got that glow, you know, you get that glow. That glow, y'all. All right. And that glow, you know what I'm saying, is the light in which that it received once it traveled up to the pineal gland in the male and received the spark of life, that soul principle from the God force in the pineal gland, known as your higher self, to incarnate into the physical world. So really, the sperm going inside of the egg is the sperm taking on a new body. And hence the body is formed, shaped by the egg, all right, or the ovum, the nucleus of that egg, all right, for woman's sake, all right? So she is the fashioner. She is the molder. She is the one symbolic to the potter's wheel and symbolizes Kanun, which is actually mitochondrial DNA, right? Which is the lineage, if you study haplotypes, then what you will find is that the science of, you have the Y chromosome, which is the male, and you have the X chromosome, which is the female. So she symbolizes the lineage in which that lasts perpetually through the generations, which comes by way of the mother principle. But all of this is talking about, once again, as above, which is astrologically, the sun traveling through the Milky Way. The Milky Way is symbolic to the Nile River. All right, if you ever seen the Milky Way, it looks like a river. And the sun travels through that river. All right, that's as above. As below, the sperm travels up through the spinal column, hence the spinal fluid, hence the Nile River within you. They enter into the kingdom of God, which is symbolic to the crown chakra, or the kingdom, the dome piece area, the third eye, the third ventricle, to receive that spark of life. And then the sperm travels back down into the spinal fluid. So 21% of the sperm, or semen rather, is actually brain fluid, 21%. So that 21% from the third ventricle that the sperm is encased in is brain fluid. Then it becomes also part of, which is cerebral fluid. Then it becomes part of spinal fluid. Then it becomes part of prosthetic fluid. All right, in which that it resides within the testes to be gushed forth. Okay, that's really what's going on. So the basket is talking about the semen. The child Moses that's inside the basket being drawn forth from water is talking about the sperm, which is inside of, encased inside of the semen. And then once the sperm enters the ovum, the nucleus of the egg, the head of the sperm have to blow up to the equivalent size of the nucleus of the egg. If not, then there is no life. All right, the life has to happen once the two are able to go through cellular division, or what's called, and develop what's called blastopores. Okay, that's the whole science. If not, then life does not produce. The head does not blow up to the equivalent size of the ovum. All that mitochondrial DNA that was in the sperm has been broken off or left behind, because what happened is that the mitochondrial DNA for the sperm semen was in the back of the head of the sperm. In other words, the tail of the sperm. And the tail is no longer there because it broke off, so that the head can go inside of the egg, and then the egg and ovum can begin to go through cellular division to produce life. So 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate is how you came into life through the 8, all right, through those particular 8 blastopores or cells, all right, as it went into cellular division. Those same 8 cells reside right now at the base of your spine, all right? The ancestors live in your DNA. And just broke that down to you. And I also been breaking this information down too for years. So, you know, this is hard to understand for some people, you know, but we have to understand it, because these stories are not just exoteric, it is also esoteric. Exoteric means that it's not just literal historical information. This information has metaphysical properties to it. And how you know? Because some of this shit in the Bible don't make sense unless you look at it from a metaphysical standpoint. So the mythology of the Bible, the mythology of the physical body, all right, as recorded, but it's the biblical mythology of the physical body. All right, that's really what's going on. All right, so we just wanted to drop that tidbit on you tonight. We're gonna come back hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday night, but we're gonna get it in, y'all, some more this week. Best believe that. All right. Peace, Sister Jackie, the goddess, Papa Twin back, appreciate that. Also Irene, peace, goddess. All right. Heavy Reese, peace. Oh, the god Teungus is in the building. Brother Fly Tie is here. All right, Brother Fly Tie, appreciate you, God, for coming by with you and your divine family the other day. Much love and peace for that. All right, and for the support. All right, and if y'all didn't get a chance to support, make sure you do super chats. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you support. Brother Fahim is in the building. That's my co-host, y'all. My co-host. Oh, Queen of Swords is up in here too. Peace. All right. Hopefully y'all got something for this little lesson. I wasn't gonna go too much further into it. It's 12 o'clock now. I need to get my ass home. All right, wifey probably wondering where I'm at, but hopefully she on here too. She's supposed to be co-hosting on some of this information. I ain't seeing her up on here. But anyway, this mythology of the physical body, y'all. The biblical stories is nothing but talking about the physical body. All right. We know this for sure. All right. This is the highest information that they've been trying to hide from you, which is talking about you, the human anatomy, melanin. All right. That's really what's going on. All right. So we're going to end right here tonight, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming on. If y'all haven't subscribed yet, yo, hit the button. All right. Okay. That little bit was very informative. Okay. Appreciate that, Osiris. All right. So we out, y'all. Peace.